Hello and welcome to the SFUSD Web Properties School Training. This segment, we're going to learn how to add a school calendar to your website. I'm going to do a high-level view of the feature, and then we'll dig into the website and show you how to do it. Now, for each school, you can add a school calendar module to the school page. You can embed multiple calendars, which will appear as tabbed calendars in this module. You can add a list of downloadable PDFs, which is handy if you have translated versions of the calendar. And then you can also use what we call this aside text area, where you can do something like add a link to submit your calendar event. Now, we edit the calendar the same way we edit other details of the school. What's complicated about calendars is you have to add this calendar embed link that comes from the Google Calendar application, and I'll show you how to get that. And then finally, if you're following along with the deck, I've added some cheat sheets, a little bit of a cheat sheet for you. This is an example of an embed for a combined calendar. So if you want to combine multiple Google calendars into one view. And then here's a link that you can test for just adding a single calendar. And then I've added a couple links here to downloadable PDFs that you can use if you want to practice adding those PDFs to your calendar. And then finally, there's a test Google form that you can use if you'd like to complete that aside text. All right, let's look at it on the website. So here we are in the web browser looking at our school website. And I'm on the home page for the school. And I'm going to embed the calendar, and it will appear right over the top of the school information component and below any school announcements. I'm logged in as a school content manager, so I should see View, Edit, Revisions, and Translate. I'm going to click the Edit button. And then from the school edit screen, I can click on the calendar tab. And here I can add all of those embeds for the school calendars. When I haven't added any calendars yet, there's just a button that says Add Calendar. Now this component will not display on the website until you add your first calendar. So I'll do that now. All right. And I'm going to add a calendar that is just a test calendar that we have for the Web Properties project. And I'm going to flip over to Google Calendar, and I'll show you where to get that embed link. On the right-hand side of your screen for your calendar, you should see the name and then 3 little dots that will allow you to go to the settings for that calendar. Now scroll all the way down past the people that you're shared with, the calendar is shared with, to this section called Integrate Calendar. What we want is to get the public URL for this calendar, not the iframe link. If you don't see a public URL listed for your calendar, it probably means the calendar isn't public. So once you've highlighted that link, I'm going to bring it over here and paste it into the calendar embed. And if you forget what that looks like, we have a little helper text down here to help you out. So I've now added one calendar, and I'm going to save this to see how it looks. Okay, since I've added one calendar, I can now see it on the school page. But I'd like to add some of those PDF links and maybe an additional calendar as well as a link to where people can submit events. So I will do that now. Click back over to the edit screen. You can do it. All right, so let's start by adding a more complex calendar, one of those group calendars. And for the purpose of this training, you can just copy this test combined calendar link. And we could call it something like all calendars. If you don't know how to construct this link, you can email the help desk. They'll help you out. But basically, the calendars are just listed one right after another. Okay, I have my 2 calendars in place. Now before we take a look at that in the front end, let's add our download list. I click on the Add Download List button. And maybe this will be our English calendar. Oh, sorry. We're going to title this section Download Calendars. Then I'm going to add a file, English PDF. All right, and the description will be the English calendar. And we'll add that Spanish one as well. All right. So now we've added a list of PDFs, and we've also added a second calendar. One thing I should also point out is you can reorder your calendars. If you want this to be displayed first, I can just drag it up to the top. All right, let's save this and see how it looks. Okay, my All Calendars tab, because I dragged it to the top, is displaying first. And then the other calendar I added, the SFUSD Web Properties project, is in the other tab. Now you can add more calendars, but at a certain point, these button titles are going to start wrapping. So I would recommend no more than 3. And here you see in the sidebar, my PDF downloads are also shown. Let's click on one to make sure it works. Perfect. Finally, we're going to show you how to add that aside text. So the final thing we're going to do is add our aside text and link. So as you recall from the deck earlier, I'm going to add this block of text and then add a link. Back over to the web browser, I'm on the calendar tab, and if I scroll down to the bottom, you can see the form that you fill out to complete the calendar aside. So we'll call this Submit Event. And fill out the summary. And then for the URL, I'm going to cheat a little and go back to my slide deck. I give you a little test form link that you can use. I'll put it in there, but it's just a link to a Google form. You can see what it links to here. And we'll give the link a title, Submit an Event. Let's save it and we'll see how it looks. All right, I'm back on the website and I see my calendar module and my new calendar aside text. That instructs me to submit an event, and it creates this nice little link, and it looks like everything is working well. All right, that's the end of this segment. Have a great day.